What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. There's no such thing as an easy win in the NFL. This league is the best of the best, the elite of the elite, the professional of the professional, competing at the highest level possible after putting hours upon hours of prep into honing their skills, mastering their craft, just to win one game at a time. And I am not going to be disrespectful and said this past Sunday's win was an easy dub, because I have too much, you hear me, too much respect for the game and all the work that gets put into it.
That's cap! That's cap! That's cap! That's cap!
But having said all that, this is what I call a good professional win by a team. We were down a portion of the game, but it never felt like we were out of it, or that we needed to scramble to make something happen. This game had poise, consistent effort, and professional execution. So let's talk about what happened. The Chargers defeated the Titans 27-17 in the game where two so-called elite defenses, and I'll get into what I mean by that later in the video, mashed up in a clash to see who will come out the superior. LA started off with the ball, and in the opening drive, put points on the board with a Cameron Dicker field goal to take a 3-0 lead. Tennessee then got the ball, and after a few plays, Will Levis found Calvin Ridley running wide open down the field and connected for a 41-yard touchdown to put the Titans up 7-3. The next two possessions, both LA and Tennessee traded a pair of 3-and-outs, and that was the end of the first quarter with the Titans leading 7-3. I do want to note that it was really good to see J.K. Dobbins get loose for a first down on an 11-yard run on 2nd and 8 before the quarter ran out. The second quarter began with LA putting together a solid drive that resulted in another field goal that was almost a touchdown, but Will Dissly dropped the pass in the end zone. So now the score is 7-6 Tennessee. We were still down, but we kept professionally grinding away. Now, what happened next, speaking of being a professional, was the turning point of the game, and is what separates the solid teams across the league from the good ones. Tennessee gets the ball, puts together a drive, ends up shooting themselves in the foot with penalties that take them further and further back down the field, end up kicking a 49-yard field goal, and missing it. Now, here you are as the LA Chargers. Your defense just made a stand. You're down 7-6, and Tennessee just made a series of mistakes that result in you having a short field. What do you do?
No, wait, don't tell me. Don't tell me, I can do this, don't tell me. Okay, tell me.
You, of course, capitalize on your newfound fortune and find a way to put points on the board. And that's exactly what we did with Jay Herbo finding the end zone on a 4-yard run to put us up 13-7. Nothing much happened at the next few drives for either team, and at the half the score was 13-7. The third quarter opened up with Tennessee putting together a drive that lasted over 7 minutes that almost resulted in a touchdown, but our defense locked in and the Titans had to settle for a field goal, making the score 13-10. But the closing of the score gap was short-lived, as the very next possession, Herbo connected with Quentin Johnson for a 16-yard tutty, giving us a 20-10 lead. And this touchdown was great for two reasons. One, because we scored a touchdown in the second half, which is rare. But second, this is QJ's 5th touchdown in the 7 games he's played this year. And that's super impressive, because through every receiver's first 7 games this season, the only players to have more tutties in a 7-game stretch are Jamar Chase, George Kittle, and Mike Evans. That's it. That's the entire list. QJ is having a bounce back year that I knew he would have after a very, very rough rookie campaign. And I am so proud of him. I know he's going to continue to shine. Now back to the game. Then the fourth quarter started and we scored another touchdown with Hassan Haskins bulldozing into the end zone for 4 yards out to put us up 27-10. And it was at this point I just knew we were going to hold yet another opponent to 10 points or less in a game for what would have been the 5th time this year and the 3rd game in a row. But our defense got too relaxed and Tennessee ended up scoring with 54 seconds left in the game to make the final score 27-10. And I really wanted us to keep the Titans to 10 points. I mean, I'm glad we won, but that last touchdown actually had me upset for about 30 seconds, like they tied the game up and sent us to overtime. But all things considered, I call this game a professional win because offensively we showed consistent fight and relentless effort for 4 quarters. We played from behind and eventually took the lead, we capitalize on our opponent's mistakes, and we put up points on 5 of our 8 possessions with only 1 3-and-out the entire game. Then defensively, we racked up 7 sacks and a pair of 3-and-outs.
What else do you need to know?
Now, very briefly, I want to circle back to something I had said earlier in the video when I mentioned 2 so-called elite defenses going against one another. Not really going against one another, but playing in the same game. It's no secret that at this moment, we have the top-rated defense in the league that gives up the fewest points per game at only 13.1 per contest. And historically, through 9 games, we have surrendered less points per game, total points, and total touchdowns than the 2008 Steelers, 2013 Seahawks, and 2015 Broncos, each of which are some of the greatest defenses of all time. We've also surrendered the same number of touchdowns and only 3 more total points than the 1985 Bears at this juncture in the season. But when you look at the Titans this year, they rank number 1 in fewest yards surrendered, number 1 in total passing yards surrendered, and first in passing first downs given up. They also rank 2nd in total yards given up per play and 3rd in total first downs given up per game. Statistically, based on their ranking, this is a very good defense. But they average giving up 26 points per game, which ranks 29th in the league, which is double what we give up per game. And this reminds me of a very spirited debate that one of my closest friends, one of my brothers and I had a few months ago when it comes to the mark of a good defense. And that is, what is more important when analyzing a good defensive unit? A team that does not give up a lot of yardage, or a team that keeps an opponent from putting points on the board? Now, yes, both can coexist, and usually one cannot happen without the other. But with this year's Titans, that's obviously not the case. An extreme example in our discussion was me saying that if a defense gives up 500 yards in the game, but only surrenders 3 points, then the defense played a good game because they kept the opponent out of the end zone and for the most part off the scoreboard. His stance was that a defense that only gives up 130 yards but surrenders 28 points, then the defense did a good job because they kept the yardage low. But I believe the most important thing a defense can do is prevent the other team from scoring. And if you do that, then you make your offensive job that much easier and is more conducive to winning. But that's what this Titans team reminds me of. They don't give up a lot of yardage, but they give up a ton of points. So to me, I can't say this is a very good defense. I can't call them elite. I think we're elite, but I think they're more so just a stat merchant. But what do you all think? Is the defense's primary mission to stop the team from scoring or from racking up yardage? Flood the comments down below with your thoughts. I'm genuinely curious about what your responses are, and I want to respond to every single person and have a healthy dialogue. If you enjoyed this video and want to watch more content like this, be sure to hit the like button. And if you subscribe, you can get notified every time I make these weekly videos going over Charger games and other sports content, both the NFL and NBA. Until next time, take care. God loves you, and I'll see you all after the Bengals game.